Are you a mother looking forward to doing your Geburtsanmeldung at the hospital? And do you also know that missing one document means you won't be collecting your child's birth certificate as soon as possible immediately after birth? So please watch this video to the end to get to know which documents you'll be needing for your Geburtsanmeldung if you are a foreigner living in Germany. Thank you very much. If you're still here, thank you very much. Please, if you haven't watched my last video, I'll be putting the link at the comment section, like on this video. Make sure you check the link below. I'm going to put it there so you go watch. First of all, to begin with, what to do as a foreigner immediately you realize that you're pregnant in Germany, the steps you're supposed to take, because it is from that video that I'm creating this video. I did mention in the last video that I'm going to continue with this video because it is somehow linked together. It is linked together. So on my first video, I did mention under the things every foreigner should know, or the steps to take immediately you realize that you're pregnant in Germany, the steps you should take. I did mention that more often than not, but it will always be different based on your Bundesland or your Frauenarzt. You will always have to look for a hospital where you're supposed to have your child. Like, you always have to choose which hospital you're supposed to have your child, and more often than not, maybe your gynecologist can help you to recommend which hospital you're supposed to choose. And these usually take place either from the 20th week to the 35th week of pregnancy. So now let's consider that from the first video you already get all the information and the necessary things, that the necessary steps you're supposed to take. So here on this video we are just going to focus primarily on the documents that you'll be needing for birth registration, because now let's consider that, okay, your Frauenarzt have already recommended a hospital for you, you're already maybe at your 20th week of pregnancy, or you are already at the 30th week of pregnancy or 35th week of pregnancy, and now you've already found a hospital. Now, as a foreigner, which document are you going to be needing for birth registration? Because they are not going to wait until the last day and then before you put to bed and they start running skelter. More often than not, they do things in a little bit of more structured way. And also, speaking as a mom from experience, the way mine was done, we had to do most of the paperwork before birth, and to me it was perfect because at that stage you still have a little bit of energy, like you're not exhausted. So I find it very logical that it is done like that. So now what you're going to do is immediately you choose a hospital that you intend to have your child, maybe in this particular hospital. Call them. More often than not, it's either you can call directly or you book an appointment. For mine, I was supposed to, what I did was, I first of all went on their website, as I got a recommendation from my Frauenarzt. I browsed through their website, I tried to read the informations, and there was a form that you need to fill, like that you're interested to have your child with them, which pregnancy week you're in. Like, I had to fill all of those information. Immediately I was done, I sent it to them, because while filling the form I had to also put my email address, of course. Then I later on received a confirmation from them, from the hospital email, saying, oh, you've been, we received your document and we have granted you a space. So call us so that we can make an appointment or a day where we will be doing your Geburtsanmeldung, which is the birth registration, right? I was so excited. I was so super excited because all through the first trimester, luckily for me, I was not sick. Like, I was so sound. So I had always been with my, my Frauenarzt. So before the day of the Geburtsanmeldung, I had to call them to talk with them. And then I asked, like in Voraus, I asked which document should I bring eventual. And they were like, I should go to their website and try to check which documents, like the list of documents they have put on their website. And you know, as a foreigner, your own case will always be different, and that is the reason why I'm making this video. Okay, so now for the purpose of this video, I have six categories that I've classified the list of documents you'll be needing for birth registration in Germany. I have on my checklist identification and legal status as the first point. What does that mean? It means you'll be needing what? You'll be needing your resident permit to begin with, so that they can get to see that, okay, you're even living in Germany. In some cases, though I had, as with me, it was a little bit different. They will also ask for your Meldebescheinigung to see that, okay, you really have an address here. Then they will be needing your passport. So this point fall under what? Identification and legal status as the first point. So I have 6 points. The second point on my checklist is what? Hospital specific forms. What are hospital specific forms? At the hospital there, you're going to be given forms to fill. Those forms include maybe like just in general, I cannot like give the details here, but I think just in general, they'll ask you information on how the fallout of your pregnancy was, like how was your pregnancy, whether there were complications, your name, your address, and whatsoever thing. Those are just the vital informations you're going to. So the third point on my checklist is what? Medical documents. What are medical documents? I did mention on my last video that there is a Mutterpass that is being given to you during your first visit at the Frauenarzt. And what is a Mutterpass? A Mutterpass, literally, if it's to be translated in English, it simply means mother's passport. And the mother's passport carries all your medical information. It is being documented on it. It is a medical document, an official medical document in Germany. It is called Mutterpass. It carries all your medical information. So under medical documents, as part of the document you'll be needing for Geburtsanmeldung, birth registration, you'll be needing your Mutterpass. And every other further document, maybe during pregnancy something happened and maybe your Frauenarzt or an emergency occurred somewhere and there was something documented somewhere, you will need this document. You need to give it to them. So the next point on my checklist, which is the fourth point, will be what? Will be parental document. Under parental document, what will you be needing? Under parental document, you people will need to submit your birth certificate. And it is important to note that submitting your birth certificate, both parents will have to submit their birth certificate. It is also important to note that if these birth certificates are just in English, it won't be accepted. You people need to translate and legalize the birth certificate. That is why I will advise, like from experience, though my case was a little bit different because I had already had certified birth certificate at home, and of course the other person too. But I will advise, if you are someone who doesn't yet have maybe some legalized document at home, that is why we say, and that is one of the reasons for my video, it is important to always check these things before time. Because if you don't have, for example, documents to submit for Geburtsanmeldung, no problem, you might still have the child, but it's going to, the process for your child's birth certificate is going to be a long procedure because you haven't yet submitted these documents. So under parental document, we have birth certificate for both parents. It must be submitted, and it is also important to note that the birth certificate should be what? Translated and legalized. Still under parental document, you people, if you're married, you need to what? Submit your marriage certificate, and the marriage certificate too should be translated and legalized. If you are divorced, the divorce proceeding, provided it's going to be affecting the child's paternity, it will also be needed. So the last point under parental documents will be what? For people that are not yet married. For example, for people that are not yet married, you will need to give proof of paternity, which in German is called Vaterschaftsanerkennung. Of course, in the future, I'm going to be making an extra video on how to do Vaterschaftsanerkennung, the procedure, because I've done it myself. So, but that will be in the future. I'm just mentioning this now for the purpose of this video. But in the future, sometime we are still going to you know, of course, come back to such topic. So now, under parental documents, you also need to give what? The Vaterschaftsanerkennung. It is important to note that the Vaterschaftsanerkennung or the paternity recognition can be done before birth or after birth. If it is not yet done before birth, no problem. I think it's just important that you people let the hospital know that it is not yet available, it will be done after birth. But if it was done already, it is important to also submit it, because I think they are going to ask this document. So I've mentioned now 4 points. The 5th point on my checklist is insurance and payment document. What do I mean by insurance and payment document? You're going to have your child at the hospital. You're supposed to pay, but in Germany, if you have public health insurance, of course you're supposed to come with your insurance card. Yes. In German, it's called Gesundheitskarte. You're supposed to submit it, right? You're supposed to submit your Gesundheitskarte. And then if you don't have, maybe let's consider a Gesundheitskarte. I don't know if such a situation can come for. If you don't have a Gesundheitskarte, more often than not, you might have a written Rechnung, or whosoever is going to take care of the bills, you also give it to the hospital. So the 6th and the last point on my list is what? Kindergeld formular or Kindergeld Antrag, which I am adding it as a 6th point under hospital requirement, because I had an Erfahrung with that I didn't have to go extra to apply for it. We had the opportunity that we received the form there at the hospital, and we just had to fill the Antrag, and after that we submitted it. And yeah, with regards to the Kindergeld Antrag, there are some few other extra documents that will add, like maybe you need your Bankverbindung, or the partner that will be collecting the money, they will need your Bankverbindung. They will need your tax identification number, and this and that and that and that, and that is all. That is all, guys. And of course, in addition to the list of documents you're supposed to submit, it is also important that on the day of your Geburtsanmeldung, you also ask questions like, okay, how is the situation of the hospital? What will you be bringing? But I know in Germany, you're not supposed to bring a lot at the hospital. Unlike with us in Africa, that you carry box, you carry this, you carry that. No, you just have to ask maybe the little things you're supposed to put inside the bag to bring. So I hope this information helps someone. And why am I doing this video? I'm doing this video because during my time, I was all over the place, all over YouTube, looking for information, and of course, it was so helpful to see that some of our African people made videos, with regards to this topic, and I said, why not me? Like, I have a little bit of experience, I have a little bit of first-hand erfahrung with it, so why not also put it out for others? So I wish you the best, Mama. If you're an expectant mom, congratulations in advance, and please don't forget to subscribe on this video. I'm Amy. Here I motivate, I inspire, and I entertain. And thank you very much for watching. If you have any question with regards to my video, or you wish that I make a particular video on a particular topic, please leave it at the comment section, and thank you very much. Bye bye.